Because this is the debate, isn't it? Does getting fitted for a driver shaft absolutely matter? Now, I'm a big advocate that it does, but I think there are plenty of people out there that think, I'm not so sure. So this is like a totally blind test. I taped these shafts up like 2 or 3 days ago, so to be honest with you, I have forgotten which is which. We're going to be looking at some big key factors here. Ball speed, club head speed, spin rate, and overall total distance. I'm actually intrigued whether sometimes there is a bit of a placebo. We've got Josh behind the camera and he's going to test these 4 golf shafts right here. Now you can see these are numbered 1, 2, 3 and 4. Josh has no idea what flex these are. These go from senior flex into regular, stiff and then extra stiff. It's going to be a blind test, 5 shots with each. I wonder which one is going to come out on top. I'm going to use Josh's same spec driver. Okay, Josh, come on, give me a number. What number do you want to start with first?
We'll go 2.
2. Okay, that is number 2. And Josh right here is just putting the final touches onto this Connex kit to basically make these shafts right here universal. This is one of those kits Scottsdale are very kindly given us, which means we can put these shafts on any head, and this is Josh's current head, the Cobra LTD-X LS.
Yes, I think an interesting point to make here is I've never been fitted for a driver.
No.
So in one of the videos we spoke about the shaft that I used, the Ventus Fujikura shaft, stiff shaft. So it'll be interesting to see if that is right for me or not.
So here we go, shaft in hand, and then your head driver. There we go, we are ready to rock. How are you feeling? What do you think of this shaft? Go on, what do you think this is? Does it feel heavy? Does it feel stiff? Does it feel light? Does it feel...
I don't think it's regular, I think it's stiff or extra stiff. It's not regular.
So your gut feeling is, just based on how it feels in your hands right now, that this one, shaft number 2, is some form of stiff
or extra stiff. Just because I'd expect a little bit more flex from a regular. I may be wrong.
You do realise if you're wrong, you might look really stupid right now.
I mean, I feel like some of these videos are made to make me look a bit stupid. So.
No, never would I do anything like that. I'm too kind. I would never do something like that. Good ball. Nice ball. How'd that feel?
Felt good, actually.
A little bit fadey.
A little bit fadey, but one of them that you don't really mind out on the golf course.
No, fairway finder, innit? Fairway finder.
Oh, it's not gone that far.
Yeah, but it's windy, it's cold today.
It is. So total distance, 257.
Oh, hang on 1 minute.
What?
He just went, he's not gone too far, that total distance, 257. Are you all right, mate? Are you all right? Are you all right?
Sorry, is that bad?
Are you all right?
Sorry.
It's
Just at high standards, high standards.
Okay, so 257 total distance.
Club speed, 112.
Yeah.
Speed. Ball speed, 157.7.
You're happy with that, aren't you?
Woo! And then,
that just shows how cold it is today.
Yeah, it is chilly, we will caveat that. And then spin rate, 4,013.
See, this is why it's also not gone very far. It was a little bit cutty, wasn't it?
So, interesting, it's only rolled out 10 yards. So
yeah, because it was quite,
bad.
look at the flight, quite cutty, fighting the wind a little bit, it's going to increase spin.
It is, but again, it's one of them where you wouldn't be unhappy with it out on the golf course.
Okay, how does the shaft feel?
Felt all right, quite like it.
Heavy, light, what do you think?
It doesn't feel particularly heavy, but actually thinking about it, it does feel heavier than mine. Now you say it. It's one of them where if you said to me as a mid-handicapper, how does that shaft feel? Does it feel heavy or not? And you don't think a shaft feels heavy. The only clubs that I've ever felt heavy was when I first played the 1-levs. They felt heavy. You don't really think that as a mid-handicapper, I don't think. That would be my assessment of that.
No, I don't think many people can, honestly.
Do you know what I mean? You can't really tell the difference in a couple of grams.
No.
So, let's see how this goes.
I really think that's a really interesting point from Josh there, on the fact that, do we actually really know what they are if we didn't look at the labels? Like we said, this is a totally blind test.
So let's quickly move into shot number 2 of shaft number 2. Now I know it's early days in this test, but it's interesting to see Josh's reaction to the shaft. Does he like it? Does he like the feel? What is the initial thought of the ball flight? Now one thing I'm picking up on here especially is the amount of curve. A lot of it is quite a lot left to right, which I guess you would expect. Let's move quickly into the rest.
Okay, so that's first shaft down, shaft number 2. Felt on the stiffer side. That last ball hit there was probably the best of the lot. Caught it a bit better, a bit of a higher launch. We'll see from the data how far it actually went. But, like I said, felt a bit similar to my shaft. It was on the stiffer side, so it's going to be interesting to see how this changes as we go through and when we change the shaft. So let's go on to the next one.
Right, mate, give me another number. Interesting that. So you're going, this one here, shaft number 2, is stiffer.
Yeah, I'm going to say that's on the stiffer side. I'm going to say, very, like I said, very, very similar to mine. Uh-oh. Got it. Let's go shaft number 4.
4.
Mix it up.
Shaft box number 4. It's like we're playing Deal or No Deal.
If
you're American, you might not know what Deal or No Deal is. This is set on neutral, single dot, 10.5 degree. I think in the why there's a gap here, this is why we use like an extra long screw so these shafts become universal. And for here, this is shaft number 4. Now at the end of this video, we're going to go through all this data and see which shaft comes out on top for Josh. Now, as a pro, I actually think sometimes golfers want certain shafts to work. Let me say, for example, right, if it had a senior on there and you felt like you should be in a stiff, or it had a regular on there, you thought you should be an extra stiff, we'll sometimes swing a shaft in order to make that shaft work. Almost like the placebo effect. Like, Josh, you get me there? I'm all making that up.
People see what guys are using on tour. People like the look of how it looks with those guys are using it, but you got to think that's fitted for them.
Yeah.
But that's what you're talking about. People want to use that shaft, so we'll do whatever they can to get in it, where actually it's probably not good for your game. This
blind test is much better. Okay, first verdict on this. What do you think? Light, heavy?
Flexible.
Okay.
Flexible, definitely. Lighter than the last one as well. Right. It's weird now that you've like mentioned about it being heavier, you start to think about it.
I think you get more tuned into it.
Yeah, when you start thinking about it, but yeah, definitely more flexible. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes.
Let's go.
So moving into shaft number 2 of the day. This is shaft number 4. Now at the end of this, we're going to go through every single piece of data, the ball speed, the club head speed, the distance and the spin rate to see what shaft works best. But you know what? Interestingly, I'm getting a good gut feeling about this one just after seeing a few shots. I'm liking the height, I'm liking the launch, I'm liking the predictability of what I've seen on the first few shots. Now at any point in this test, let me know what you think. But shaft number 4 right now, coming from a golf club professional, I like it a lot.
It's nice.
Josh has just absolutely ripped that. That was like high, it looked like low spinning. Come on, talk me through the numbers here.
So total 286. We've got club speed 111.8, so around that 112 mark. Ball speed 160.9. Spin rate 2714.
What did you hit that in the middle?
Yes, pure. That was a nice strike.
Right, fan the ball away. Oh, you've just absolutely nutted that too.
And the wind's done nothing to it.
Shaft number 4 right now, you're feeling pretty good about.
Feels good that, but I am a bit concerned that it feels quite flexible.
Okay, so we've got 2 more shafts to test. Let's go. We have now, Josh, what shaft number?
Shaft number 1 definitely feels lighter.
Okay.
Again.
So this feels lighter again from the previous one, number 4 that we just hit.
Yeah, so it seems like we're getting lighter and lighter, so that suggests to me it's probably going to be a little bit more flexible again.
Okay, right. I'm going to get you just to hit all 5 away here. Give him a bash, mate.
Down.
Moving into shaft number 1, the third test of the day. We have 1 more shaft to go after this. As I keep saying, let me know what you think is the best. So the first 2 away, a little bit higher, a little bit more left to right. I'm getting very, very spinny vibes on this first few shots with this shaft.
Oh, you've ripped that. That's the flight you want on here. How's that one feeling? Go on, give me some feedback quickly.
It feels very flexible. However,
bad?
I don't like it really. I've just looked down at the number though, and it's not as bad as you might think.
So when you say flexible, is that because you don't know where the head is? Is that what you're getting?
And it feels very, very light. Like you can see it moving.
Or you're just really strong, mate.
It could be that.
So verdict.
You've done me a kipper there.
Don't.
Not a fan. We've got one more to hit, but carry-wise.
I just thought I'd give you an idea of what those shafts were, because I can remember them right now. That last shaft was this senior shaft, so a bit of a lower kick point in order to give people more spin. And in terms of that ball flight that we saw there with Josh, it was a lot higher. It was a lot spinnier. You'll also realise on a senior shaft, usually they're a lot lighter and shorter. The shaft that we hit first was the extra stiff shaft in the green, and the one that we hit second, I don't know if that was stiff or regular because they're both the same colour. But we will go through this when we go through all the data. Now, we have one more shaft to go, and this one's either stiff or regular. It's really interesting to see this data so far, which we will summarise at the end, because it's actually really close. It really is closer than I thought it was going to be. Josh, final shaft, what are we on here?
Yeah, we're on number 3.
First thoughts, give it a waggle.
I think I've
the waggle test.
I think I've sussed it out.
Don't tell me yet, don't tell me yet.
I think I've sussed it out, and I have a feeling this could go quite well, if I hit it well.
So you think this is what?
I think this is a stiff shaft. I think this is going to be the closest to mine. I think the other orange one was the regular.
Okay.
Do you want me to tell you?
Go on then, go on.
I think the green's extra stiff,
okay.
And I think the last one was the most flexible of all of them. Which was a senior or?
Right, okay, well, I'm not saying anything. I'm really hoping he didn't overhear my conversation with you guys just a couple of minutes ago. He was far enough away to not hear that. So, okay, I'm really interested though. We've got all the data so far apart from shaft number 3. Blind test, final shaft, let's do it.
Moving into the final shaft of the day, shaft number 3. Now, so far, have you made up your decision of what one you think is the best? Now, straight away, this one's not anywhere near as accurate. Now, just to caveat this, Josh was warmed up fully before starting this test. So it's not like this shaft at the end, he's more warmed up, and therefore the data will be more favourable. He'd hit plenty of shots to get
Josh,
warmed up.
You've now hit them all. We've got the data to go through.
Yes.
But like, go on, which one's your favourite? So we've got shaft 1 to shaft 4. Give me a number of what you felt was the best for you.
I'm
like
torn.
feel.
I'm torn. I'm torn between 2 and 3.
Oh, not very smooth this,
That's
mate.
not gone well.
Not very smooth this. You're having a bit of a mare there, mate.
That wind is doing me a kipper. Here we go. Hold on.
If you see an extra shaft there, that's Josh's shaft, by the way.
Yes, that's my shaft. So I'm torn between 2 and 3. Now, I think these are stiff and extra stiff, is what I think from the feel. This number 3 I hit the longest ball with.
So you think 3 is stiff?
Yeah. And I think this is extra stiff.
Yeah, what number? I don't remember.
Number 2, sorry, number 2. My bad. Number 2, the green one is extra stiff. Yeah, I'd be torn between these two. I think they both perform quite well. I think those other two were just a little bit too flexible. The spin was getting a bit higher, and when Alex talked through the numbers of that, the spin rate was getting higher because of that. Am I right in saying that? Is that right? Does that make sense?
Well, we'll have to wait and see, won't we?
Is that what should happen?
Yes, it should, yes.
Exactly. So I'd be torn between these two. I hit the longest one, I think, with this one. So maybe this. What I think is stiff is right for me.
Go on, pick one.
It's all about hitting it long, isn't it?
Number. Give me a number. Which one's best?
3.
Now, this is going to be really interesting because as we jump to home now, I'm going to go through all the data, all the averages from shaft 1 all the way to shaft 4. So let's see if what Josh feels matches up with the data. Let's jump home.
This is the bit that I've been waiting for, and I know you have too. So just to remind you of the order, the shaft that we hit first was shaft number 2. We then hit shaft number 4, then into shaft number 1, and then into shaft number 3. Now, looking at this data right here, there are a few standouts. Now, looking at the ball speed, number 1 ball speed was achieved with shaft number 4, the regular flex. This then reflected in a 280-yard total distance. Again, the longest overall. Now, that spin, right in that good zone in my opinion, 2,500 to 3,000, right in that sweet spot. Yes, this shaft didn't give the highest clubhead speed, but it was only 1 mile an hour short. So looking at the standout performers right here, we've got shaft number 3 and shaft number 4. This is the stiff and the regular. It's interesting. Josh said when I asked him what shaft that he liked the best, it was number 3. And I'm thinking that's the feeling that he gets from that because it will feel a little bit stiffer, a little bit more what he's used to in comparison to shaft number 4, the regular flex shaft. Now, I guarantee if I'd given Josh a regular flex shaft without taping these numbers up, we wouldn't have got to this conclusion. And this is the point of this test. We do this test to see and get the exact results. A blind test is always the best way. Now, if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell.